Hello and welcome to DFS Coach Talk. Today is Thursday, September the 8th, 2022. I am Joe Sarvati, affectionately known as Coach, and I am joining you today for the Major League Baseball 7-game slate. There's 3 early games and 4 games on the main slate this evening. It's sort of bizarre how the different sites did things differently, but 3 of those 4 games are on the main slate on the sites for this evening. And then the 3 early games are on all 3 sites for the early ones. So apologize that I had mentioned yesterday on the podcast that today's podcast was at 1:30, but Crash pointed it out to me that we did have a 3-game early slate. So we are coming to you live at 11 a.m. Eastern. So hopefully everybody wanders in here. I know this probably caught some folks by surprise. I am planning on giving away 2 more tickets for the Sunday Millie Maker on DraftKings that will be on Sunday, obviously. And we'll do that somewhere throughout this podcast without question. So Boyd from Cali, first time you've been the first one in here in a while. Thanks for joining in. Good morning. Hope to, like I say, get a bunch of people drifting in when they realize we've gone live here. But exciting day for us here at Coach Talk. We've got our first NFL podcast of the year for the regular season. We did some preseason ranking podcasts, but this is going to be the first one of the regular season, and that means the debut of one Stephen Miller. Really fantastic addition to our NFL Coach Talk team. He played Division I basketball, finishing up his career at Arizona State. So he's really knowledgeable, has great insight, knows exactly how to break down NFL games, knows a lot of NFL players and strength coaches, etc. So he gives us a new insight that we've never really had here at Coach Talk. So that's really, really cool. He will be on. We'll have a 3-man booth live at 6:50 p.m. Eastern today. That is going to be for that NFL Showdown game tonight. I'll be moderating that and letting those 2 guys give you all the information. So it'll be Crash and Steven. They'll be heading up our NFL all season long. Very fired up for those guys, and I'll just be tossing it back and forth to them so that they can just give you every insight and advantage for taking down the Showdown slate Thursday and then Sunday for that slate as well. We'll also have a Saturday NFL podcast at 8 p.m. We're going to go live for that one. That's for the full Sunday slate. We wanted to get that out there Saturday night because we know a lot of people are just jammed up Sunday morning and there's so many different things to listen to. We wanted to make sure you had a chance Saturday night or earlier Sunday morning to listen to the Coach Talk pod. So like I say, a lot of things happening. We also added a new pro to the mix that's going to have NHL hockey covered for us. His name is Kyle. He's in our Discord already. We introduced him last night, so say hello to him if you're a member. He'll be providing some baseball for us too, doing a few podcasts, and like I say, hockey and a lot of other things that we're doing here now at Coach Talk as we're expanding. All right, couple things real quickly. I want to say that this podcast is presented by our partners at Boom Fantasy. If you haven't tried Boom Fantasy, this is the time to do it. We have a link attached here on Twitter, on TikTok, right here in YouTube if you're watching there. If you want to go to our website, dfscoachtalk.com, you can also one click and you're right on the Boom Fantasy site. You can download and go with everything there. Great site. I'm really enjoying it. Ton of information. A lot of plays that you can play as far as props, head-to-heads, you name it. Boom Fantasy has it, and we're going to be partnering with them all this season. So, and hopefully for good. We really They just launched here a couple of weeks ago, relaunched, and really proud that they chose us as the DFS provider of choice to partner with them. So check them out if you haven't already, and we'll go from there. So we're giving away 2 tickets to that Millie Maker. I'll announce those, maybe one halfway through and the other one towards the end. Let me say good morning to a few folks as they're trickling in here, because I unfortunately said 1:30 yesterday and it was an 11 o'clock time. So those that are expecting to see it live at 1:30, hello, you're watching it recorded. We did this at 11, but great to have you on either way. JT, good morning. Sean V, what's up, man? Great to see you. King of Smack, definitely fired out up to see you in here. The Reds and Mike Miner, you were on that one, yes. Very good call there. Let's see, just chit chat. Jim Parrish, hello, Coach. I'm able to come back, enjoy your show and information every day. Great, Jim. We've missed you. Great to have you back into the mix. Love the fact that you're back on with us. Love to see you in the Coach Talk Discord too. If RJ, good morning. What's going on? Make sure that as you trickle in, you put a comment in the chat, because everybody in the chat will be in those drawings for the Millie Maker tickets. If you want to join us at Coach Talk, we have our NFL package, as you can see scrolling on the bottom. That starts, tonight's the night. We provide for every slate, every game, everything NFL. We do not miss it. Go to dfscoachtalk.com and you can sign up for any of our packages. If you want to just try us out for the full NFL weekend, we have that $5 or 5-day pass just for $19. And that gets you Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. So you get all the NFL slates, you get all of our MLB. On the weekends, we always have golf, MMA, and NASCAR, all of that stuff going. So you are at the one place. We also do projections each day. We are going through those. We do some of that we go through here on the podcast, but we also provide those for our members for each slate, stacks, pitcher ownership, all that kind of stuff. Because again, we try to separate ourselves from everybody else here. We want to help you hand build some lineups, because we know most people that play can't afford 150 max every contest. I don't do that either anymore. I prefer to hand build a few lineups, smash the single entry cash games, and then pick your spots, put a few bullets in the big money GPPs. We found that to be the most common way to build a real successful bankroll and not have to start with 50 grand in your account to begin. So that's what we're all about here, and we're going to help you do that and get there as quickly as possible. Fear Money Entertainment LLC, good morning. Great to see all of you guys in here. All right, so we have great weather. Thank God, with all football going on and everything else happening, we have no weather to worry about at all for the Major League Baseball games today. There are 7 games, like I said, 3 on the early slate and a mixture of those late 4 on the main slate, and no weather issues at all. Let's see here. The 3 early games, by the way, are Washington, St. Louis, Cincinnati, Chicago, and San Francisco, Milwaukee. So then there's going to be a difference between what DraftKings, Fanduel, and Yahoo cover for their main slate tonight, which is really weird, but they're 3-game slates instead of 4. I have no idea why. So one locks at 6:40, one locks at 7:05. One of them has Miami, Philadelphia, Minnesota, New York, and Chicago, Oakland. The other ones have Minnesota, New York, San Francisco, Milwaukee, and Chicago, Baltimore. So one game different of who they're covering in those. I don't know. I think these, the sites get so overwhelmed with NFL, they just lose track of what they're doing on the MLB side. Now, I will say this, and I hope nobody takes offense to it. These are all our regulars in here, so I can say it. I love to make money right now in Major League Baseball from today until the end of the MLB season, because I'm telling you right now, there are a bunch of NFL players in DFS that are now got their accounts all pumped up with money, ready to go. and they drift, they swim like a school of fish into our MLB pod or contests and into our NBA contests when that starts. And so you're getting like 25% what I consider fish money adding to those pots in MLB and NBA. So we're going to turn it up a notch. We're going to cover every MLB slate the rest of the season like we always do. And then when NBA rolls around, the same. And we're going to be scooping up some of that free NFL money, if you know what I mean. So very, very excited about that. All right. That's we let a lot of people jump in here because I had given the earlier time. So let's dive into these slates. The 3 games, very interesting. Early, we have a 1:15 game. Washington Nationals, St. Louis Cardinals. It is in St. Louis. It's 80 degrees, no wind to speak of. 7.5 is the total there. A low 2.73 for the Nationals, 4.77 for the Cardinals. It's Josiah Gray, 7.5K, and Adam Wainwright, 8.6K. So let's talk about a few things. Let's go directly, since it's only 3 games, let's look at it as a group as far as the ownership stands for stacks and for pitching. And the reason I want to do that because it affects sort of everything that we're doing. Oh, by the way, Jim Parrish, I see you, man. You're in. Welcome back. You're in Discord. Good for you, man. So you're not only on the podcast, you're with us. You said you'd be back for football. You weren't kidding, my man. Great to have you back. All right, for the stacks, we're going to look at just DraftKings to not confuse things. So let's go over these 6 teams that make up this early slate for where we're projecting ownership on the stack piece right now. Right now, it's very, very close between 4 teams and then 2 teams with almost no ownership at all. 25.4 for the Chicago Cubs, number 1 stack. 23.4 for the Cardinals, 22.1 for the Brewers, and 20.4 for the Reds. So dead heat between those 4. Any of them could end up the top stack. The 2 teams not getting any attention at all, 5.4% Washington. San Francisco is 3.2%. Now, chances to be a top 2% stack on this slate, you've got St. Louis edging out the Cubs 23 to 20%. 2 teams at 18% being Milwaukee and Cincinnati. And then those 2 low-owned stacks, Washington 10%, San Francisco just under 10%. So that's what the stack piece looks like. From the pitching ownership standpoint, it's pretty much of a blowout. It's 2 pitchers that almost everybody's going to have. Number 1 being Corbin Burns at an absolutely wild 87.6% ownership projection, 65.9 for Adam Wainwright. So most lineups are going to have those 2 guys in it. Josiah Gray is 3rd at 20%. Adrian Sampson, 17%. And Luis Cessa, almost unowned at just like 3%. As far as potential for being a top 2 pitcher on this slate, Corbin Burns, 65.1. So that's a 22.5 point leverage negative there. 48% for Wainwright. So that's 17.9% lower. And then the guys that are on the positive side, at least for that potential for being top 2% score on this slate for pitching, Josiah Gray 33, Adrian Sampson 30, and Luis Cessa 22. So that gives you a feel for this early slate. We'll do the same thing for the main slate, as this is going to be a one-stop shop for you for all your MLB today. So you can get everything together, get it in, and then focus on that Thursday night football game. And you can join us at 6:50 for our NFL podcast. Okay, where am I looking at in these games? I mentioned the game set for Washington and St. Louis. The lineups are out. It looks like for Washington, it's going to be Thomas, Garcia, Meneses, Voit, Ruiz, Cruz, Hernandez, Abrams, Robles. And for St. Louis, Donovan, Edman, Goldschmidt, Arenado, Dickerson, Pujols. We're not sure who's going to be in the 7 hole. They have that grayed out. Molina and DeLuzio as the lineup for the Cardinals. Now, I want to bring one thing up here. Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina are looking to set the record today for most games pitched between a battery mate team. So Wainwright to Molina are going to break that record. And it just, the longevity of those two guys with the Cardinals playing together and him catching, Wainwright, Molina catching Wainwright, just an amazing feat. I think it's going to bring both of those guys, get them really pumped up. Wainwright's my favorite pitcher on the early slate, and that is a big reason why. Just the excitement of breaking that record. It's a phenomenal accomplishment. To stick around the majors that long with the same catcher, and catchers always getting banged up and everything. Talk about a first ballot Hall of Famer. Yadier Molina is one of the best catchers of all times, defensively for sure. So I think Wainwright's in a great spot. Washington's not hitting. They shook up their lineup a little bit. Voigt's been a little hot, so, it's one guy to get around. Cruz is down to that 6 hole because he has not hit. A lot of outs there. Not a million strikeouts, though, and Wainwright's not a huge strikeout guy. But I just think, he's coming off a bad performance against the Cubs. He didn't get it done. But prior to that, he was on a roll. He pitched great against Atlanta, the Cubs, Colorado, and Milwaukee, and Toronto. So he's got several really good starts under his belt. I don't think he's tiring out, even though he got hit around a little bit against the Cubs. He only had 82 pitches, and he is a horse, man. Listen to this pitch count in all the games prior to that: 100, 106, and 89 are against Colorado because he 3 hit them. 109, 111, 106, 101, 114, 103. So you can expect him to go deep, and I think he's just in a great spot. He is my favorite pitcher for multiple reasons, and I think that he is priced correctly here at 8.6. I think it's a very, very fair price for him on DraftKings. So I'm not going to any of the Nationals hitters. For St. Louis, I'll have a couple of one-offs here. It's always easy to one-off either Goldschmidt or Arenado. Both of them make perfect sense. To play both is a little too restrictive salary-wise, but one or the other is a good play. Donovan or Edman hitting 1-2 in good spots. You can go to Dickerson or Pujols. Pujols on that chase for 700 homers, and he's only 2.7K. So, you can consider that. Again, you got Goldschmidt and Pujols at the same position, so some decision needs to be made there. Molina at 2.6K, like I said, a phenomenal accomplishment. And, he's the kind of guy that will raise up in a situation like this and hit a homer or do something very special. So I know he's not been good with the bat, but I'm going to give him a little bit of a heads up here because of that extra recognition and just the adrenaline pumping that they're going to have. All right, let me check real quick in if we've added some people. Oh, Josh is joined the crew. Josh, how you doing, man? Newt Bar isn't in the lineup today. Good. He stinks, man. That guy's a bum. Sorry. Let's see. Great at home all season. Absolutely. Sean Wayno's been terrific there. No doubt about it. Goldie and possibly O'Neill. Yeah. Well, right now, let's see. I don't think I said O'Neill. I don't believe he's in the lineup. So we'll watch that. If there's 7 holes still in question that I can see, but I don't see O'Neill in the initial lineup there for the Cardinals. All right, game 2 is at 2:20, just a little over an hour later. Cincinnati Reds at the Chicago Cubs. It is 77 degrees, slight breeze blowing in from right at 5 miles an hour. Total is 8 in this game, 3.71 implied for the Reds, 4.29 for the Cubs. Luis Cessa, 5.8K, and Adrian Sampson, 6.4K. In this game, I don't care for either pitcher here. I think they're both very hittable. Neither one of them is going well. Sampson had a couple of decent games there for a while, but I think this is just a really not a great spot for him. And I think that you can certainly stack against him. I think that if you look at his numbers, he doesn't go super deep. He doesn't strike many people out, and he seems to have gotten worse as the season is worn on. He has pitched some innings this year, but I just don't like the spot for him. I think some of those Reds bats that are so cheap are pretty easy to get to. We always make fun of that Friedel, Farmer, and Fraley attorneys at law. It's, and they're cheap. So you can always go there. They hit yesterday. And why not go back to them as well? They have possibly a young first baseman, Spencer Steer, in there. That's interesting at 2.4K. So, a couple of Reds for sure. No question about it. Cubs as well. I think that you can choose a couple of guys from this team against Sessa if you want to go with the lefties in Happ, Ortega, or, at the top, Madrigal, Suzuki, Fran Mill is always a threat to take one out. A couple of one-offs for me for the Cubs. Probably going to be more than I said with a couple of one-offs for the Reds. I may stack 3 Reds here, maybe even 4, because of the cheapness and the fact that you can get to some of those big bats. Wouldn't mind going Friedel, India, Farmer, Fraley 1 through 4 and seeing what they can do against Sampson. I do think they're going to hit Sampson, and I think the Cubs bullpen is terrible. So that's definitely a spot that I'm going to look to go to. All right, game 3, you've got San Francisco Giants and Milwaukee Brewers. Everybody, their brother and their brother's brother is going to have Corbin Burnes, except Coach. How about that? Contrarian Coach, go ahead, crashes in. He's going to have a heart attack. Thank God he's not on the show. 86% ownership in the initial look through on Burnes. I just don't think he's pitching well. I mean, as somebody explained, I know the Giants don't hit well. I get it. They don't. But Burnes just hasn't been himself. Let's look at this for a minute here, because if we can fade Burnes, I know it's extremely risky, and I'm not saying to dive in heavy cash games with fading Burnes, because I've always explained this, and it stands here. If you play Burnes as a chalk blocker, if you're playing cash, because 9 out of 10 people are going to have him, if he does good or bad, it's not really going to make a difference, because if he does bad, you don't get penalized. But if he does good and you don't have him, then you're screwed. So if you're playing cash only, then Burnes, you just have to put him in regardless. But if you're going to play some single entries or going to take a few shots at a GPP and you want to get different, my opinion right now is I just don't think Burnes is healthy. I don't think he's a bad pitcher. I think he's a terrific pitcher, but I think he's hurt. He's never been the same since he came back from that injury. And he hasn't pitched deep. He hasn't pitched well. He pitched against Arizona, who stinks in the Humidor stadium there. 5 2/3, 5 earned runs, gave up a homer, 17 Fanduel points. And you can get Fanduel points for wiping your nose. And on August 29th, the lowly Pirates, 18 Fanduel points. Pitched 6 innings, 5 earned, 2 home runs to the Buccos. Game before that, the Dodgers. Okay, the Dodgers are tough. 8 Fanduel points, 3 2/3, 7 runs with a homer. And, so, I mean, we're talking about multiple outings where he's pitched like garbage. He really has. He has not won a game since are you ready for this? You're not going to believe this. All right, he won that Dodgers game on August 18th, where he pitched okay. They got some runs for him. Before that, he had won on July 27th, and before that, July 1st. Guys, it's September 8th. He has 3 wins since July 1st. He's been getting hammered, and I don't see why he's that highly owned. So I know this is contrarian, but sometimes you have to grow a set and go after it. And I'm going to be different on this early slate. Again, don't go strong without Burns in your lineup for cash because you don't have any upside to it. But other spots, I say go for it. I really just think it makes perfect sense. Can San Fran hit? Not that great. There's no question, but they've proven that they can in given spots. They blew a good pitcher up just the other day. So why can't that happen again here? Their projected lineup doesn't scare anybody, but probably Wade, Yastrzemski, Flores, Peterson, Crawford, Longoria, Estrada, Gonzalez, and Bart. Not great, but Yastrzemski, Flores, Peterson, Crawford, Longoria, those guys can homer. You get a bad pitch, they'll take them deep. Plus, they have a lefty batting first, second, fourth, fifth, and eighth. So you got 5 lefties in there against Burns on top of it. There's my diatribe on why I'm looking different there. As far as hitting, I think Milwaukee's going to hit. That's the other thing. I like this as a higher scoring game. I don't know what San Fran's doing with their pitching. If you want to put it in here, I know Jacob Junis is going to probably get the majority of it. I've seen 2 or 3 different starters, their placeholder inning or 2 guys. If it's Scott Alexander or a couple of other guys they mentioned, they're all sort of not good. So I do like Milwaukee hitting. I love that stack. The total in this game is 7. I think both teams could score 7 in this game. I'm talking like 7-6, 6-5, which would smash the over. Very bold today, but you know what? It is what it is. That's what I think. And Yelich, Adames, Tellez, Renfroe, Wong, McCutchen, Peterson. I would go anywhere with those guys. Narvaez hit one out the other day. Maybe he's getting his chops back. And then Crash's favorite all-time player in the history of Major League Baseball, Mr. Garrett Mitchell, the left-handed hitting stud, will get a lot of at-bats probably against Jacob Junis, and he's playable as well. And then obviously the cheap guys on the San Fran side. So I'm going to have a lot of hitters from this game. No pitching. And again, those middle guys, Flores, Peterson, Crawford, Longoria, those lefties, I think are a good play. So 2v2, 3v3, 3-2, something like that. I'll have the majority of my guys from that game, a little mini stack of the Reds, and sprinkle in some Cardinals and let Wainwright lead the way for me on that early slate. So you'll know how I'm doing, and it's going to either be Takedown City or move on to the main slate. So let me go back to see what people are saying here in chat, because I would assume that got some attention. I'm not going to get Burns by Burns again. I get you, Cal. I like the play on words there. 6 innings, 8 Ks, 2 runs. I knew you'd be a Burns homer, Crash. If you were on right now, I would bet you not just that you wouldn't have to wear this damn hat on the podcast. I'd send you the hat in the mail. So take that, buddy. We're going after you today. Let's see. I like Burns. Sean V says, yeah, I mean, how can you not like Burns? He's 90% owned. I mean, I get it. I completely get it. So let's see how it shakes out. And we'll go from there. So hopefully that's a hot take for you and something a little bit different. All right, we're going to give away our first ticket. $5 is all it's worth, but you know what? It's going to be worth $5 million for you. So all you have to do when you get picked, shoot a real quick DM to us on Twitter. We're at DFS Coach Talk. Just jump on Twitter, DM us, say my name is Bill Smith. My PayPal email is billsmith@gmail.com. That's it. You give me that info, you'll have the $5, dump it in DK, play that, get in that $5 million contest. All right, you want to bet a hat on this, Crash? We're going to bet a hat. The winner, how about this? The winner has to, if you've ever seen our gear, our shirts, our sweatshirts, we have the best gear in the world. Go to stream, what is it? What is our website? You can go there. Squad Locker. Go to squadlocker.com, SQUADLOCKER, and type in DFS Coach Talk, and you see all of our gear there. I've spent a lot of time picking out that gear with the representatives there at Squad Locker, and we make zero. We don't make a penny. Every single dime that it costs for that, we just pass that savings. We want to have you wearing our swag out there, and it's some great stuff. So if you haven't checked it out before, we'll start giving some swag away too during the NFL season, but order some stuff there. You would love it. Crash, here's the bet. The winner we'll set this. How can we set the line? Fantasy points. Give me 37.5 is the PrizePicks number. Okay. If Burns scores over 37.5, I will buy you the hat of your choice on Squad Locker and send it to you. If he scores below 37.5, you have to buy me the hat of my choice, which is that new light blue one. It's the one Steven ordered. It's sharp. Then you have to send that one to me. It's a deal. Okay, we've got a side bet deal here for a brand new hat. This is Crash and I's biggest bet ever, and it's all weighing on Mr. Corbin Burns. So here we go. We're in. So we'll be following that closely for sure. All right. Crash got the juice. Yeah, he's got the juice. All right. All right. So that's where we stand. We got the side bet in. Squad Locker. If you want to order some of our gear, we'd love that if you did, especially for members. Rep it, because we want to have some folks on there. Do some podcast, jump in, do some guest spots on podcasts. I've been chasing after Boy from Cali and a couple of our members that win a lot to come on and just say hello. So hopefully we'll get some of those guys and gals on there, for guest spots. And if you have some Coach Talk gear, that'd be phenomenal. All right, let's go. I didn't give away the $5. Okay, so if you do that, if you win, just send me that DM on Twitter and we'll get it right out to you. All right, I'm going to spin the wheel, make a deal. Shout out to our man Gundacker. All right, the winner of the Millie Maker ticket, first one of the two that we're giving away today, is King of Smack. I don't know if King of Smack's won already. You can win every day. You're not eliminated if you've won before. But King of Smack, you got a free ticket, my man. So send me that info. I'm not sure if you won before, but it doesn't matter. You can win again. King of Smack can talk smack when he wins that $5 million with this free entry, this free play. All right. We go to the main slate, my friends. There's 4 games on this slate, 3, and I'm not going to go through how they came up with which 3 good on which site. It's asinine, but it is what it is. 6:45, Miami Marlins, Philadelphia Phillies. The total in that game is 7. It is 76 degrees in Philly, breeze blowing in from right at 5 miles an hour. 3.29 implied for the Marlins, 3.71 for the Fighting Phils. Sandy Alcantara, 9.9K against Kyle Gibson, 5.7K. So we're going to do the same thing we did for the early slate with the evening slate. We are going to jump on and we're going to look at these DK projections for top stacks on this night slate. Right now on DraftKings, ownership-wise, stack-wise, it looks very, very, very tight between, let's see, is that the top stack? Yes. Did I do the right? I want to make sure I'm giving you the right information because it doesn't look right to me. Yeah. Okay, so we've got 25%. No, that's the morning one. All right, I'm going to have to jump back on and I'm going to pull this up right now because I want to get the correct one for you guys. So hang in there with me, talk to your neighbor, type something in chat as I'm pulling this information up because I want to make sure that we have the right situation for you here and the right numbers. And it's important because this late late slate is confusing, and DraftKings, Fanduel are covering different things, and Yahoo as well. So, all right, projections for the, let's see if that's up there. Let's see, Fanduel. Okay, so we're gonna go to DraftKings. We're gonna look at pitcher. Hang in there with me. I just want to make sure we have the most updated and the correct information. Okay, evening slate on DraftKings. We're going to look at, since I'm on pitching, let's do pitching first. Dylan Cease at 68%, Kyle Gibson 39%, Nestor Cortez right behind him at 38%, Sandy Alcantara at 36%. And then it falls off way down to Sonny Gray at 15.7%. And 1% for JP Sears. Who was the, now that every time I hear JP Sears, I think about whoever it was in the chat that was the JP Sears man. Like, I think it was his brother maybe. But if you're in here, who was the JP Sears guy that won slate that they were all over JP Sears? I don't know. If everybody remembers, let me know. Not to embarrass anybody. I mean, there's no reason why, but if you want him today, you're going to get him only at 1%. So that's pretty cool. On FanDuel, we're going to look at the same thing just because since we're looking it all up and we're figuring this out together, let's do this right now. So on FanDuel, looks like Cease, then Cortez, then Gray, and then Sears. So all of them are a little bit different as far as that goes. And then let me get the updated stacks and we'll go back through that as well. So we're going to go to stacks. Hopefully they give us the main slate, and then we'll look at it by ownership share, and we'll see what we have here. Now that's the early slate. So we want to go the night slate. All right, here it is. It looks like the stacks are the Chicago White Sox coming in at 33%, the Yankees 20%, somehow the Miami Marlins third at 15%, Philly right behind them at 14.8%, Minnesota 9%, Oakland 7%. So that gives you a little feel there. So all right, so let's start breaking these games down a little bit more. We talked about this first game. And in this game, I really like the Philadelphia Bats, and I'm fading Sandy Alcantara. He looked bad in the last game. He's 9.9K. The Phillies have been hot. It's warm in Philadelphia. They have the tough left-handed bats back, full strength now with Schwarber and Harper and Stott and Marsh. So they're going to, I think they hit Alcantara. I think he's a good fade, and I'll be stacking the Phillies against him. Not big on Kyle Gibson today, but not big on the Marlins lineup, so not touching much other than that. All right, game 2, 7:05, Minnesota Twins, New York Yankees. 72 degrees, very cool. Comfortable night, no wind to speak of in New York. Definitely temperature drop there. 7's the total. Sonny Gray versus Nestor Cortez. 6.8 for Sonny Gray, 8.8 for Nestor, the lefty, going against the Twins. Again, we say it every day, but it's worth mentioning. The Twins have not been good since Buxton went down. They just quit. And, I could see some more of that today. I think Cortez is a better play than Gray, but he is $2,000 more. I'm not gung-ho for either one of them, but I would favor Cortez for sure. We're going to get a banged-up lineup for the Yankees. I heard LeMahieu's probably going on the IL. We don't know if Stanton's going to play for sure. He's in the projected lineup, so we'll see if he goes. The projected lineup's going to have some weird folks in it, so we got to watch that and look for that tonight. We may get some value in some of those guys, and in other spots, maybe not. I have no idea Aaron Judge is not a human being. He's definitely, either a robot or an alien. 6.4K. Why do you pitch to him? Sonny Gray's no dummy. He's a veteran. I think he's going to pitch around Judge. I mean, Judge has zero protection right now. People that are batting behind him can't hit their way out of a paper bag. Stanton's been awful. Torres has been awful. They've got maybe Guzman behind him, for God's sakes. If you give Judge a fat one over the plate, you're an idiot. So I'm going to fade Judge today again. I know I said it yesterday and it backfired. They gave him a lollipop and he hit it 90 million miles, but I'm not paying 6.4K if I think the guy's not going to get a strike thrown over the plate. Again, hot take, it is what it is. You know, we go for it here. I don't pull any punches. I tell you what I think, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But we'll see. LeMahieu's in this projected lineup. If he's not going on the IL, we'll see. So can't really comment that much other than I'll have a couple of Yankees, maybe one of the cheaper guys for somebody sitting out, and maybe one of the more buy-up guys if LeMahieu's in the lineup, if not one of the other guys. But not a huge stack. Sonny Gray's not bad. And then on the Twins, not going to touch the Twins much at all. Cortez certainly could be a second pitcher for me on this slate. So probably not going to go with the Twinks. All right, let me just check. I want to make sure I'm not getting lambasted here in chat. No, it looks like everybody's being polite. We've got the best chat folks in the business. Everybody's cool. Nobody calls me an idiot or anything like that. I appreciate it. Alcantara absolutely owns the Phillies, though. Not today. Not today. He's been pitching a little soft. The dude pitches. He wants to pitch 150 pitches a game. He never comes out. Maybe he's getting tired. It's September. You know, you can only be an innings eater so much. So I think Philly hits him. I really do. That's where I'm going, and we'll see. Cortez been getting shelled lately. I know he's not been the same. I knew he'd regress. I've been talking about that the whole time. But this Minnesota lineup sucks. And again, since Buxton went out and they've shuffled a few guys around, they can't hit. And so I think he gets it done enough. He's not my top pay-up guy, but I think he gets it done enough on a super small slate at a price that seems fair to me to be an SP2 for you. So anyway, those are my thoughts there. All right, we go on to game 3. Where is it? I'm all over the board today. There we go. San Francisco Giants, Milwaukee Brewers crash. If it's on any of the slates, I don't even know. It's game 2 of that doubleheader. There's no real line on it. We don't know for sure who's pitching for the Giants. I think it's some guy that needs to buy a vowel on Wheel of Fortune. HG or HJ. There's an E, an LL, and an E. So you got a couple E's, I guess. But H's, J's, and L's, I don't know. I would not solve that puzzle. Sean Hilly, I have no idea. If he's going to pitch, he's 8.3K for the Giants. I know who he is. You know, I mean, I get it, but, small, just more of a starter placement guy. So you can't play him. I don't know why he's priced that either, if he is even pitching. Freddie Peralta possibly for the Brewers on the other side. You know, a possible play. I mean, I get it. San Fran, not been the best team in the world. And then, Brewers, I like the Brewers again, hitting wise in this game, certainly can stack up some guys there. All right, the last game and game I want to focus on, it's 9:40. So it's 2 hours after the other game, and it's well after the football game starts. So we're going to be flipping back and forth because this will be the key game for me. White Sox at A's. It is 82, so still much warmer than normal. It's usually like 57, 56 in Oakland for these evening games, so like 30 degrees warmer almost. Total still only 7, 4.09 implied for the White Sox, 2.91 for the A's. My man, Dylan Cease, who threw that one hitter for us last time out and brought his home some cheese, lost the no-hitter, though, to Stinkin' Arise with 2 outs in the ninth. But he was awesome. I think he's going to be awesome again. Love pitching in that ballpark. Love the huge foul ground. The A's have like a single A lineup. And I think Dylan Cease at 9.6K is grossly underpriced. On a slate of this size, with the stout pitching that he's been lately, he should be like 11-5. So run with Dylan Cease, 100% ownership, every contest, GPP, cash, single entry, whatever you can find, play Dylan Cease. JP Sears on the other side, the lefty, has not been very impressive. White Sox are my favorite stack. I love the righties, especially if you want to hold your nose and play Elvis Andrus. He's been okay at leadoff. I'm not going to play him probably myself, but Vaughn Abreu, Jimenez, that's with an H. No, it's a J, but it's pronounced with an H. That's an inside joke for Crash. We went through that before. Yasmani Grandal, Pollock, Luis Robert, and then Harrison and Gonzalez. I mean, I like their lineup. They're in a chase for a playoff spot. Great chance to open one up a little bit here. So again, my late night slate, a lot of it's going to depend on that late game. I'll have some Philly bats against Alcantara, and then I'll have a White Sox stack as well against Sears, and I'll have Cease in every lineup as a pitcher. So that really covers everything. 7 games, that's the info. That gives us a good look at this slate. I think that, I think there's money to be had here. And remember, you're going to get some of those fish swimming over from the NFL contests to fatten up these MLB contests. So that's really where I stand. That's all the information. If there's any questions or anybody else, I'm not sure. No other questions. That's awesome. I hope this really helps you take down some baseball stuff. It's awesome when you can win in 2 sports at the same time. If you're loading up on both baseball and football, don't ignore baseball tonight though, because these slates are cashable for sure. All right, let's give away the second freebie. Has anybody else joined? It looks like more people are in the chat, but I don't see. If say hello. So before I push the randomizer button, it's going to randomize from everybody that's live in chat and commenting. All right, we're going to push the button in 3, 2, 1. The winner of the free ticket, and this is so appropriate. I'm so happy. It's Jim Parrish. Jim, you're a winner. You came back to Coach Talk like 17 minutes ago, and you're a winner. So Jim, send me, I've got your PayPal address because you just joined and re-signed up. So you will be getting $5 PayPal to jump into that contest for the Millie Maker on Sunday. So 2 fun entries there for 2 of our folks. So that's it, my friends. A little bit shorter today because less games, and want to give everybody a chance to get everything situated, get some of these lineups set. We've got that early slate starting before you know it in about an hour and a half. So I hope this was helpful. I hope I can beat Crash and get my new hat tonight. So we're going to be looking to run some runs up against Mr. Burns. We'll see how that rolls. All right, thank you everybody. Definitely join us later today, 6:50 p.m. Eastern, 6:50. We will be live with the 2 best NFL DFS minds in the industry, in my opinion. That's Josh Crash Davis and Stephen Miller Time Miller. Those 2 guys are going to be on there. Top 3 stacks for the early slate. I'll give you 2 that I'm playing hard. Milwaukee and Cincinnati on the early slate. Those are going to be the 2 I'll be loading up on. Don't really need 3 because there's not enough teams. Only 6 teams playing. Any other final last second questions? Nope. I think we're good. We'll see all of you jumping in at 6:50. We're giving away 5 tickets for the Millie Maker on that MLB podcast tonight at 6:50. So if you've won them, stack them up, play multiple ones. If you haven't won them, jump in there with Crash and Steven and myself, and we'll get you some more. Milwaukee and Cincinnati with Burns, Jim. Who says with Burns? With Burns? Oh, come on, King of Smack. You won 5 bananas. At least be on my side against Burns. That's okay, man. I like I said, if you're playing cash in those games, you got to play Burns because of the ownership. But we'll roll with it and see how it goes. Hope everybody takes everything down. Thank you so much for joining me, and we'll see you tonight. And we'll definitely see you again tomorrow. Crash and I are back on together. One of us will be gloating about our new hat, and we'll see you then. So thanks again. Have a great day. It is a full sports fantasy DFS day. Definitely click on Boom Fantasy anywhere on it where you're watching. We have a link connected, or you can go to DFS Coach Talk. Come join us like Mr. Jim Parrish and get ready to take down some NFL and win some contests. And we'd love to have you there. So we'll be back tomorrow when we look to crush it in MLB DFS and Boom Fantasy.